Good morning, everybody. My name is Christian Malonga, and today I'm gonna present the nearest navigation expert system. I didn't work on that by myself, and I work on that with my friends, my teammates. There is Chanbi, there is Ada, and Mohammed. We work on that, and actually, the challenge about the expert system, or why we decided to make an expert system, because as you can see, or as you know, nearest university is a huge university, and for new students it's kind of difficult for them to find a way to find some way, because they don't know actually about the university, even for any university, because you are new, you don't know what's going on with this university. So that's why we decided like to create an expert system that can help them finding the way and enjoy actually about that. So yes, this is actually the solution that we decided to do, and we are going to see how are we supposed to make that expert system. So this we will call it like the life cycle actually of an expert system. For the life cycle of an expert system, first of all, we have identification. As you can see, our target user group is international freshmen at NEU University facing challenges in navigating the campus. Yes, for the identification, all that we need to do is just to know like all facilities, for example, all buildings. So we're just identifying all components at nearest university. We don't do anything else, just to know, for example, okay, there is how many students, there is how many building, there is how many facilities, which kind of building there is, like for example, there is nursing building, there is, for example, the bank, there is the hospital. So we are just identifying all that building, all that student from any nationalities and all that things. When we are done with that, the second point is conceptualization. For conceptualization, we need to define the system knowledge requirement and design a suitable data representation for campus information and its connection. For this point, actually, okay, for the first point, identify that we identify all that components at nearest university. There is building, there is facilities, there is this kind of student, all that students. So now we are going to make some connection between buildings and to know exactly what there is in that building. For example, like you have, for example, the building of like the hospital, for example. You don't know about like what there is in that hospital, but you just know the building. So now we will know what there is exactly on that building, and that will help us to put all that information in a database to help students, so that when they want something, they can enter some input and they will receive some information or some some uh, yes, some information about that. So this is actually about conceptualization, and we are going to to make also some connection between them. For example, you want to move from point A to point B, so you need some connection actually between them, and also to show like, okay, this road is not available, you cannot take this road, you can just take this road actually. So all that information, we're going to see that information on conceptualization. And the third point is about formalization. Formalizing the system involves specifying its components, such as the knowledge base, the inference engine, and a user interface. Great. For this point, actually, as you know, the knowledge base, it's kind of like it's something like the conceptualization, because we are just putting all information, like collecting all information about the university and in details. Because for the first point, identification, we talked about just identify what there is at nearest university, but the knowledge base, we are putting everything. Okay, we know there is hospital, but we don't stop at that point. We go deep inside. Okay, in hospital, what there is inside. there is, I don't know, maybe um, there is a cafeteria inside. So all that information about the hospital, there is this, there is that, all that information we put that inside, and also the location of that hospital. What is the location of that, the coordinate of that, and okay. Before talking about inference engine, I'm gonna talk about the user interface. For the user interface, actually, what we need to do is we are going to use Flask, the framework Flask, because we are going to work with Python. So you can use any language that you want, but for us, we are going to use Python to do that. So for Python, we are going to use Flask, so the framework Flask, and it's kind of easy. So just to implement all that things, and yeah. And actually, the user interface, as you know, guys, is just for helping you to enter something, some input, and you're going to receive some information about that. And for the inference engine, this is actually, I can say, is like the heart of the project, because this is the decision making of the project. In at this place that we're going to put all the logic about the project. For example, okay, because we are going to use an algorithm for that, for combine, okay, because we want to find the shortest road for student, because we want, for example, to make life for student easy, so that each student can find easily the road. And for that, we need to have like an algorithm that can help student, can solve that all that, like that input that the student can put inside. For example, a student want to go from a point A to a point B. That algorithm, or this algorithm, sorry, that we will put inside will help student. So we will do all the calculation, all that thing, and we'll just show the shortest way. So it will just show to the student or the user the way that is gonna use to go to from A to B. This is actually the logic about the inference engine. So the last point is about the implementation. For the implementation, actually, it involves coding the system functionalities, including algorithm implementation, database integration, and development of a user interface. Okay, for this point, actually, it's just to implement everything together, because we talked about knowledge base, we talked about inference engine, and we talked about user interface. So it's time to combine, sorry, everything together, so that we are going to have something like an entire code, like a system, something like this, an expert system. So we combine everything together, and we create like we create a system, an expert system. Yes, and before combining everything, guys, the first thing that we need to do is to test the code. First of all, this is actually the part of that. Okay, this is the conceptualization again. Just some explanation about that. This is the formalization, as I told you, the system architecture. There is a knowledge base, as I told you. The store stores the campus data, including location, facilities, and connections, as I told you. The inference engine, well, yes, we are going to use this algorithm, actually, this class algorithm, to compute shortest path and provide optimized route based on user input and campus data. You see, let me come again here. For example, as you can see there is uh, provide optimized route based on user input and campus data. If, for example, the information that we put on knowledge base is not like the information that the user, for example, the user is asking about a point A to a point C, but for the knowledge base, we just put the point A to point B. So it's not gonna show him the point A to the point C, because we didn't put that inside, and it will show maybe an error. It's according to what we will put, sorry, in our code. For the user interface, as I told you, provide a user-friendly platform for inputting destinations, receiving road guidance, and exploring campus facilities. A Flex-based web application will be used for this, as I told you guys. So now, this is actually the implementation and the user interface. So this is the part of testing and validation. yes, we create a project, but before implement everything together, there is a unit testing. I think all the like any any language of programmation, any language, any programming language, sorry, has its own way of testing the code. We're going to use Python. And here for testing the code, the system will be tested through unit test to ensure individual component function correctly. So before combine everything together, we will test the knowledge base. Is it correct? Did we put everything together? Like the way we put everything, is it correct? For the inference engine, is it correct? So we're going to test it. And also for the user interface, we're going to test it also. And there is integration testing. For integration testing, integration test will validate the interaction, between different components, ensuring seamless communication and data flow. So now we are done with testing them separately. We put it together and we try to see if it's gonna work and to test if exactly it's working. And for the last point, we have user acceptance testing. Before that, as you know, guys, even for all industry, yes, all industry, all companies actually, we don't go with a code just like this. Okay, this is the code. I'm done with the code. We need to test the code. Even if you run the code, but you need to test it like in the other way. All the language of all the programming language, sorry, has its own way of testing the code and other things. So just test the code and you will see what will happen. And yeah, if there is some mistake, you're going to correct the mistake. And the other point, user acceptance testing, it's about to involve real user testing the system to evaluate its usability, functionality, and overall user experience. Yes, here we are done with the code, we are done with the project, but we cannot sell the project now because we need to know first if the user can like the project actually. So what we will do is, because we're doing that for any university, for nearest university, sorry, we will go with that project to, for example, a university X there, and they will test the code, for example, for 1 week, and we can even put some place for feedback. They are going to write what they, if they like it, if they don't like it, if they what they don't like about that project. So we will know what's going on with the project, and after that, yeah, it's okay. We can easily know if we can change the project or if you can we can, sorry, improve the project. And yeah, this is actually about the project. And thank you so much for your attention. Thank you.